Hello and welcome back to kati-ellen's Bookish Adventures. So, I didn't post last week. I literally, I set stuff up and then I sat down in the living room for like 5 minutes. And to be honest, I was just so tired. I was really exhausted last week. I was really struggling to get out of bed. The first thing in the morning, it was horrible. So, I apologise. In today's video, I am celebrating a year on BookTube. Seems like I've been doing it forever, but probably because I've been doing YouTube for so long. I would have to say I'm kind of happy with how I have progressed, I guess, with this channel. Sort of expanding more, like doing the reading vlogs. I did my holiday vlogs and I really do enjoy those and I will definitely be keeping those. I really kind of tailed off really badly in regards to book reviews. I did like really well to begin with and then not so much later on, so I don't really know what happened, so I'm definitely going to try harder with that. There are also a lot more videos I actually wanted to make last year, and I always thought, oh yeah, these would be good as like, they're like kind of great filler videos, but also just like more get to know me type things. I don't know. Anyway, just like favourites and recommendations, and then I would never make them, so that's another thing that I'm also looking at. Still thinking about the whole posting twice a week thing, or maybe every other week, but I think that was only really happening when I was doing my reading vlogs and I wanted to do book reviews, so it'll depend. I'm also trying to decide what kind of book reviews that like I want to do, whether it's all the books I do or just certain ones, so there's still a lot to kind of go with. So I thought for this video I could just do a nice cool, keep it cash, just a kind of 10 bookish facts about me. So currently, as it stands, I think I have 256 read books on my Goodreads list. So that obviously only like starts from like books I know I remember reading. So a couple of them are from middle school and then kind of really picks up from high school. So these are books that I have slowly added over the years. I feel like 256 isn't bad. Considering I don't listen to audiobooks, I think it's quite a good amount. I've definitely increased over the years, and especially with sort of having high school, I just felt I couldn't separate my time for reading and work, and I but I just used to stay up late all the time, just I'd say stupidly, but it was just because I couldn't like sleep, so yeah, that was a bit not great. Fact number 2. For some unknown reason, and I don't even know when or why I picked this habit up, but I have 2 bookmarks in my book. So I will have one bookmark which keeps my place, and then another bookmark which is like in a random point in the book. I don't know why I have this habit, along with weird habits I don't know where I picked up. I also had a strange habit that I had to read in increments of 113. I don't know why. I'm wondering if I read a book that was 113 pages long and then that stuck in my head. So after that it was like 226, 339, 452. I don't know why I did this, like I really don't know why, but I stopped that and have seemed to have like replaced it with now, yeah, having a secondary bookmark. I'm waiting for people at work to notice this, because once I get to that I will move it to its next position. So I'm waiting for someone at work to just be like, why do you have 2 bookmarks? And I'll be like, I don't know. Number 3, originally, way before I discovered Goodreads, I had my own actual like reading like shelf book list thing. The word I'm struggling with, I can't find. I used to find all my books and all my recommendations off Amazon. So this was back when Amazon was really helpful and really useful, and you could mark books as whether you'd read them already or if you owned them, if you weren't interested in, whereas now it's much more limited, and so it would be books that you didn't even have to have bought from Amazon, which I really love. So I found loads of my books and loads of my reviews that way. So I have compiled a written list, and I had one list for books I wanted to read. It was all colour coded as to if like ones are prequels, if they were series, if they were bind up. Yeah, I really went in this hard. And then I also had a separate list of when I completed the books. I know, it's so cute. So yeah, this is before I discovered Goodreads and BookLikes. So since then I have stopped with that list. However, I would very much like to relook at that list just to see what books are on there, because these are going to be books from like, well, past 2008, so there are some books that have been on there for a long time, and I really want to kind of rediscover what was on there, see if I would ever read any of the books actually that's still on there. I think I probably would with a few, but like as a Kindle read. Number 4, I have this weird thing, I can read on trains, but I can't read on like cars, buses or coaches or anything. So I'm guessing it must be to do with the fact it is a stable movement. I remember I never used to be able to read on trains. Even just texting, I'd start to get a bit thing. I once did try to read in a bus when it was like a bus replacement. So I read on it whilst we were stationary the minute we moved, because my plan was I will not look up, because I know sometimes that's what makes you feel car sick, is when you look down and up constantly, so I was like, I'm just gonna look at my book solid, I won't look around at the scenery. We barely pulled away and I was like, nope, can't do this. I could feel my head going funny. But yeah, I envy people who can read on buses or like any other transport, but I can only do trains. Fact number 5, I don't read crime, which is weird because I love watching crime. Like, I love a murder mystery. Not to say I love violence, but when I think about a lot of the shows I watch, a lot of them, regardless as to whether it's sci-fi, fantasy, whatever, modern, contemporary, historical, a lot of it is violent. Apparently, I love the violence, but I don't like reading it. I've read books, obviously, that contain murder and contain people being killed and like wars and battles and stuff like that, but the actual genre itself is not crime. I've read one crime book in my life, and that was Dead Simple by Peter James, and that was amazing. I so enjoyed it. It like really had me cooked. It was like the crime version of Dan Brown, is the only way I can describe it. It was just really fast paced and changing from characters. So I think if I was gonna keep reading it, I would probably pick up his books. I would maybe borrow them or find them in a charity shop, or I would Kindle read them, because that book was a really good one, because it was someone who was buried alive on a stag do by accident. So I don't actually know how I would fare with a proper murder book, but I am thinking about giving them a go, even if I just read that series. But yeah, crime is just not something I'm interested in reading, but you put it in front of me to watch and I'm all over it. Number 6, which is probably very common for reading addicts, I have drafted 3 books. One of them is complete. The second is complete in my head, but not actually written out. And then the third is complete in my head, but again, like, I'm probably not even halfway through. The first 2 were like a series, a duology, and it was like a vampire-based book. So this was back when vampires were the hype, but it was kind of set within a supernatural world, but that wasn't like the main thing. The main thing was the character's relationship. Her brother dies. It's the fallout from her family, herself, her own struggles and grief and crap, and sort of hiding it from people and her friends and family because she doesn't want to be a burden, and connecting with this one person. And then the second book had more of a supernatural feel, so it was exploring a lot more of vampire mythology that I was creating, and sort of her lives and his and their families and intertwining. So it was like, I feel like it would have been a good book at the time. The second book was, I'm going to say, more crime orientated, quite possibly. I remember it involved the police and a stripper. Number 7, this is probably going to make me sound like an awful human being. I hate being bought books if they're not on my wish list. This boils down to the fact of, I know what I like, I know what I want, and I'm so limited on space. So the books that go on my wish list are books I know I have space for, basically. These are books I've kind of plotted out where they're going to go, what bookshelves. I'm like, okay, I know I have space for these. And also there are very few people that I trust to buy me a book that I probably would enjoy. There are so many books, and I hate to say this, there are so many books that I've gifted to charity without reading them because I would just never read them. I've got a few that I've been gifted that I would never have bought myself, but have read them because it seems like, actually, you know what, this could be interesting and it's good to branch out. But one of them was like this Christmas, it was by some author called Debbie something. It was like a Christmas related thing, and it was romance, and I was just like, oh my god, no. Like, I wouldn't even watch it, sort of thing. Like no, romance is not my thing. Like, I like it within a story, like with the Yar books and fantasy, like I like it within it. But yeah, like, Mum loves a Hallmark film, and I'm just sat there like, please, like, kill me now. So 8, this is one that you will already know if you watch previous videos. There are a lot of popular books I haven't read. I've only just started reading Throne of Glass. I have read 0 Sarah J Maas apart from Assassin's Blade. I also haven't read The Hunger Games. There are so many. So this boils down to the fact, I've said that twice now, I don't enjoy reading books when they get caught up in this massive just like sandstorm of hype. Like, I just don't like it. I think it's part of the reason I then didn't read The Hunger Games. When the books originally came out, when I was in my last year at high school, was not fussed about reading them. Like, dystopian isn't my type of thing. I'd watch it, but probably, maybe, but like to read it, not fussed, still aren't, but I will read them because I thought, well, you know, I've got to branch out once in a while. My best friend did convince me to read them because she said the films were amazing, the books were amazing. I still haven't watched the films either. I think it's like maybe because like I read Twilight when the hype really caught you by the throat, and oh my god, and I remember reading them like, this is trash, people, like, what is got, like, the first one had potential, the second and third melt into one book for me. I once had a conversation with someone at college in my English lit class, and no language, sorry, and she was saying something about a scene from the book, and I was like, what are you talking about? That didn't happen. Apparently my brain only funneled information that was required. It is a hype thing. And also with certain series as well, if they're really long, I like to read them all together, but the hype kind of does get in the way for me. So number 9, I have only read Harry Potter twice. I really do love the series, I love the films, but I'm not one of these people who like reads it all, that I just don't. Even though I love it, I've only read it twice and I still think it's like the best series, one of the best series I've ever read, and I still cry. And I will probably pick it up again in like another 5 years time, but like, I don't know, I feel bad for saying it. Which brings me to number 10. I don't have a favourite book or series really, or quote or anything. I have favourite books, but I don't have a book that I could go back and read 100 times. Like, there's probably a few thinking about it. Maybe they're probably Stardust and The Night Circus. Definitely, I think I could probably easily like reread those, and probably some others by Neil Gaiman. But I don't have, this is like what I meant, like the Harry Potter thing. I just don't have a book that I could constantly keep reading. Like, I couldn't read it last year and then read it this year and then read it next year. It's like, I have to have space between them. I wish I did. I wish I could be like, this is my favourite, it's amazing. I wish I could have that. I wish I could have favourite quotes and be like, tattoo it on me. Yeah, I don't. And I kind of feel left out of the circle. So those are my 10 bookish facts. I feel like I might come back and do this next year and sort of see what other things and weird habits that I have picked up. Thank you so much for watching and having my little, I would say mini celebration. It's a celebration in my head. We're having takeaway pizza tonight. There we go, that's a celebration. So next week, which is technically this week when this video gets uploaded. Why am I saying, but it's next week for me? This is where I'm getting confused. It's going to be my birthday. Next Friday, I will be 27. Yep, that's happening. So I will be filming a reading vlog / birthday vlog. So that will be happening. God, I'm nearly 30, guys. Like, no. That's just such a depressing thought. But yeah, I'm 27 soon and that's quite frightening. So yeah, I hope you have a really good week ahead. As always, I want to hear from you, so comment below, what are your bookish facts about you? Do you relate to some of mine, or are you just like, you're weird? Show me those thumbs, hit that like button, it means the world. And if you're new, then hey, become a subscriber, join, celebrate another year with me next year. Until then, I will see you the following week when I will be old.